Hello guys and welcome again to World of Warships with myself TC and hello. Yes, we're looking at another test ship, so as always guys, anything you see here, work in progress, somewhere floating in the ether above us there, is in fact in play. Anything can change with these ships over the next few games, okay? So, let's have a look here. So what do we have in front of you? Initially, you may be thinking, well, hang on, that looks like the Tier 10 French DD, the Kleber. It's not. This is the Tier 9 French DD, the Mogador, in her full maximum spec setup. Can you tell the difference between her and the Kleber? No, I can't either. She is, for all intents purposes, a Tier 9 Kleber. However, there are some very subtle differences. Very, very subtle differences, which I'm quite happy about. Number one, she's not as fast. She's a little bit slower. We are splitting hairs here, though. Her guns reload a little bit slower, and they turn a little bit slower, and they reload a little bit slower, and they don't have the range, and the range is a little bit less. But again, we're talking incrementally small amounts. As I said with the Kleber, I'm really happy that you kind of get the flavour of the French DDs all up the line. High speed, no smoke, reasonably good artillery on them. More memey on the torpedo side for YOLO, drive-bys and things like that. The Mogador is exactly the same. Played a couple of games in this, had a lot of fun with it. Again, we are talking little 8-kilometer torpedoes that do 75 knots with four triple launchers this time, not 4 quad launchers. So we said little differences, not much at all though. Same kind of damage, same kind of speed, same kind of detectability, just 1 less on each of the tubes, so 2 less on each broadside. However, you still do get a reasonably long reload of 1 minute. A reasonably short reload, of 1 minute in this case. But remember, you only have 0.7 of a kilometre of stealth torpedo firing on this ship, because even with concealment expert, out of the full works, you are only looking at 7.1 kilometres on your detectability at sea. And then when you pull the trigger, obviously the balloon out to full length. Mogador's history, well, most powerful large French destroyer, the Contriblias, among those built for the French Navy. So this isn't any sort of paper ship that Wargaming have pulled out of the hat. This thing was real. This thing was prowling around the Mediterranean and the Atlantic. This thing was out there. It's pretty impressive. She's also quite a modern design as well in terms of destroyers in the game. Her and the Kleber and La Terrible. Would I say she's going to be an easy ship to pick up? Again, if you've been in the game for a while and you've ground up the Russian destroyer line, this kind of ship, if you're happy with the Khabarovsk line specifically, you'll enjoy a lot. It's a very high risk, high reward ship to play, because you haven't got the safety of the smoke screen to rely on. Oh crap, I can't get out at this moment. Drop a smoke screen, hide and run away. This is all about speed, momentum, maneuverability. She is. The way I'm thinking more and more about these French destroyers is that these are destroyer hunter killers. Kind of a role we thought the Daring and the Jutland and the Lightning, the Royal Naval destroyers would fill. These seem to be tuned even more highly towards that role. So she's not going to be an easy ship to pick up and play. I struggle with her. Like I said, I struggle with the Kleber as well. I struggle with the Kaba. They're fun, but they're just not me. I'm more into iGen and US Navy destroyers, and to some lesser degree the Royal Navy destroyers. These and the Kaba, I'm kind of out of my comfort zone with, but they're still fun to play. Nothing beats the thrill of popping around a corner at 55, 56 knots as you can do in this and the Climber, pouncing on an unsuspecting, Musashi or Salem or Des Moines or Zhao, dropping, 6 in the case of the Mogador or 9 or 8 in the case of the Climber torpedoes at virtually point blank range that the guy cannot avoid, cannot get away from, cannot do anything about, is absolutely hilarious. And just literally and off you go, job done. Nothing beats the giggle factor of that. Would I recommend her? Like I said, high risk, high reward. If you're into that high skill level of gameplay and that you like that sort of stuff, by all means go for it. For me, I want to get more comfortable with my Cabra and my Groza before I even attempt the grind on these when we finally get a release date for them. But as they currently stand at the minute, these are going to be some of the most fun and risky ships to play in the game. And I, for one, look forward to what they can do to the meta of the game, because stuff like this, even against aircraft carriers, forget aircraft carriers, you've got AA package on this that will deal with it. It's not great, but it'll deal with it. These things are going to be the scourge of the sea when people get their head around the play style of them and how they work. And if you're good in a Cabra, you'll shine in these. Just a thought. But we'll see. People might, you guys might prove me completely wrong, and I might have another update video on these. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, as always, a sub to the channel will be amazing to help. Details of the Twitch and the Twitter are below. Feel free to drop us a follow on either of those. It really supports and helps me out. And as always, have a great evening, and I will catch you on the next video. Good night, everybody.